Okay guys, so do you remember on my last live stream, I said I was going to be making a series of videos on the best value budget boards. I reached out to all the companies and I started doing my research. I started looking around and I got all the usual suspects. So I got obviously the Mipos, the Walgos, the Own boards, a couple of really just crappy ones. And then I came across what I think will be the winner. Now I haven't tested the board yet. I wanted to do it live for the first time on camera, and it's the Bibuff board. Now you might remember about a year ago, I first test rided the Bibuff Carbon, and I was really impressed with that board. It was a lot of board for very little money. And what they've done recently is they're trying to really capture that lower end market, that market for that sub $500 board. And I think they may have done it. The board is called the Bibuff B2. It can take up to a 120 kilo rider. They say it weighs a little bit over 8 kilos, has dual 600 watt hub motors at the back, which can take cloud wheel donuts. And the deck is 95 centimeters long by 27 centimeters wide. And lastly, probably the two most important things, the ESC is the latest Fock Lingy, which is the same that is in the V4 Mipo. And lastly, the really big kicker, the one that puts it over the line for me and makes this probably the best value for money budget board on the market, is the battery. Now this comes in two configurations, a 10S 2P with 21700 cells at 8 amp hours in size, but it also comes in a 12 amp hour battery configuration, 10S 3P, the same cells, 21700s. The cells are a generic Chinese brand called Lanexia or something. I'll put it on the screen here, but they are quite a good cell at 4.2 volts each. How much do you think a board with an 8 amp hour or a 12 amp hour battery with dual 600 watt hubs, the latest Lingy Fock ESC, a really nice 95 centimeter long bamboo and Canadian maple deck. There could be some fiberglass in there, I'll double check that. It starts at $399 for the 8 amp hour and only $429 for the 12 amp hour. That's insane value. This is the board right here. Now it's very plain. They did rush this one to me, so they haven't put their logo on the front. It will have a little Bibuff logo, I believe, on the grip. And underneath, a really nice big battery enclosure there. Nice bit of orange detail, I actually quite like it. And a really nice different ESC enclosure, which I haven't seen before. I really like the look of that. There are those dual 600 watt hub motors. So that's all the details. All we need to do now is ride the board and actually see if it can perform. They say it'll do 38 to 40 kilometers per hour. I think that's easily possible. Most boards will do that. This board's party trick will be its range and its hopeful lack of sag. Right, let's get the helmet, let's go. Okay, first thing before we even get started, because this board doesn't have any logos or anything on it, it's very hard to tell the front from the rear. Just gonna quickly do something about that. So let's jump straight into the first ride and review of the Bibuff. First of all, because it's the Fock Lingy, it's got the roll to turn on. That's now turned on, which is great. It's got 4 speed modes and it has adjustable brakes, like all Lingy ESCs. Now we're going to start off in speed mode 1. That's speed mode 1 there. It's not exciting, 11 kilometers per hour. Speed mode 2 has a little bit more kick. It's really different to be riding reverse kingpin trucks again. I've been on the traditional, the TKP or even the double kingpin a lot lately. Haven't had reverse for a little while now. So we're maxing out at about 18 in speed mode 2. Now speed mode 3 has a nice little kick to it. And this is where it's going to climb up and get a really nice cruising speed. Now you can hear those 600 watt motors are whisper quiet. All you can hear is the urethane on the concrete. Now another big feature of the Lingy ESC, and it's probably just as a bigger selling point as the roll to start, and that's the adjustable brakes. And we're going to see what the difference is between brake mode 1 and brake mode 4. We're going to get up to 25 kilometers per hour. I'm in brake mode 1. As I cross the line, I'm going to do the hardest brake possible. So here we go. 3, 2, brake. Oh, there's almost an X. Wow, okay. There is an X there that marks the spot, but that's where we made it to. So let's just put my phone on the ground. Okay, so there's my phone. It's in line with the back wheel. Now let's see the difference with brake mode 4. Okay, here we go. Brake mode 4 test this time. Same speed there, same speed, and brake. Okay, huge difference. This is where we've ended here. I'm just going to walk to where my phone is. So this is the difference between brake mode. There's the phone right there. That's the difference between brake mode 1 and brake mode 4. That's a good 5 meters, I'd say. Flex test. This board has quite a nice little bit of flex on it, as you can see there. Just a reminder, I'm 225 pounds, 226 actually, pounds. And this has a nice little bit of rebound to it. Also, just talking about foot placement or foot fitment. One of my subscribers asked recently, he's a size 13. He said it'd be good if I started mentioning how well the deck fits my feet. Now I'm a size 11 US. And as usual, my heel is hanging off the edge, but that is my style. That's how I ride. It's very comfortable. I ride goofy, so I use that to really cut back in. So a size 11 US, I'd say size 12 US, no problems. 13 might be pushing it, but if you wiggle those toes forward a little bit, you're not going to have any concerns. Top speed today, super windy. We're in speed mode 4 now, and it really gets up in boogies. Alright, top speed of 41.1, which is above their advertised top speed. So that's a big tick, and I think it had a little bit more. Okay, so we've discussed what this board can do. It can go quite well. It's amazing value at $399 or $429 for the big 12 amp hour battery. It's quite comfortable, and I feel quite safe going at 40 kilometers per hour, which is surprising for a reverse kingpin, quite narrow wheelbase. But what can't it do? Well, there's one thing it can't do well. Light off-road. Now, I don't want to go in too fast because it'll probably throw me off, but yeah. No, that's it. Okay. So this is a street board. There's no going a little bit off road for this one. Road only. Maybe a little bit of shingle. Maybe. Oh, that's sinky and wet. Oops. Okay, so I can handle this stuff quite well, but grass is a no-no. Let's head back to the car. Let's do my final SWOT analysis. Got a couple of things I want to mention. It's not all roses. And then we'll end the video. All right, here we go. Okay guys, we're almost at the end. Let's do the SWOT analysis super quickly. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths, it's value for money. At under $429 for 12, under $399 for 8 amp hour battery. I think it's unbeatable value. Another strength is they're using the latest FOC Lingy. As I mentioned, the same as the V4, same as the Hurricane. Obviously this has less amps than the Hurricane, but it's exactly the same as the V4 from Meepo. The deck shape's really nice and wide at the front and rear, exactly where you want to put your feet, so you've got no problems with foot placement. And obviously the biggest strength is that battery. That ginormous 10S2P or 10S3P 21700 battery is just very, very good value. Let's move on to weaknesses now. One weakness I just don't like about the board are the bushings. They feel very, how do I put this? Flat. So when you're carving, it's kind of carve, middle. Now that can easily be fixed with, you know, a $15 set of bushings. And I will be giving this feedback to Bibuff to see if they can do something about it, because it's certainly not a deal breaker. It's far from a deal breaker, but a slightly nicer bushing would make a big difference. And the last one is threats. Are there any threats on this board? Well, I haven't observed any yet. No cutouts, no ghost accelerations. I love the adjustable brakes. I love the auto roll on. It's just a good, cheap board. Now, I'm not saying this is better than a Lycon Swift or Backfire G3. What I'm saying is this is a very, very good board for the price, and I think it's unbeatable at $399 and $429 for the 12 amp hour battery. Alright guys, and that brings us to the end of the first look at the Bibuff hub board. Super cheap, super good value, big battery. Really hope you've enjoyed this content. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We've got loads more content coming, and we're also going to be looking at the best budget all-terrain board at under $1,000 very soon. But until then guys, skate safe, wear a helmet, and we'll see you on the next video.